been a minute since I posted. Actually, it's probably been about 2.5 to maybe even 3 months by now. But I have been busy turning myself into a god and really doing some internal work to really get to the next level. I'm pretty sure most people who are genuinely on that path can understand that. Let me know how you've been doing if you are up to it in the comments down below. But in my specific path, I actually created a list full of things. It's a list full of 7 dominant things that I have, or really lessons that I have really learned throughout this path that I really want to put on here because they may help anybody who is actually going through the path of like grounding and channeling that God self, So if you connect or you relate or you find connection in this is something that may be able to help you or give you a little bit of insight on how I dealt with certain things in my path. But like always, enjoy the content. We're about to get into it. All right, so the first thing that I really had on here was releasing care for situations I can't control and abusive relationships. And what I really mean with this is, obviously you already know what releasing care for situations I can't control means. That's just like random stuff in the third dimension, but it's more so to a deeper level as well, like really grounding this in every facet of my behavior. I think a lot of the time we hold idealistic constructs within the mental, but then we don't actually ground those within our behavior until later on when we actually learn that there's a difference between an intellectual concept and actually outputting that on the physical behavioral level. So that was just me realizing that for a couple different aspects of my life and how I actually hadn't been releasing care and how I moved with some stuff. Like I moved in distrust sometimes, like I didn't, and this all came back to trust a lot of the time when I'm like not releasing that care. You're not having that trust in that oneness, or that you outputting, or that you channeling the right thing, that you becoming the right thing that is going to help you to evolve these certain things that you view as maybe like a burden, or maybe you just need to switch up the thinking. All these different things. It's all about the redirection at that point, and that's what I really just needed at that point. Having a more clairvoyant output, which takes really releasing the care. You got to release the care before you can actually become clairvoyant. And that was a big thing for me. And then the abusive relationships thing was just about setting better boundaries for people who are not fully healed and who are like energetically sloppy in this world. Like really being to myself and protecting my energy in a different way, in which I always felt bad about before. Like setting boundaries to where people can't just come in your house and just make anything anyway, and then that they might be going through it a little bit, so you just let them treat you any type of way, but then you got to deal with your own cleanup, and it's not the same the other way around, so it's one of those things where you have to really learn how to be 100% accountable for the things that you allow in your life. Like I allow these people to come in here and do this, and if I don't want it looking like this, and if I don't want to take the time to recuperate like this, I'm gonna have to make some changes and have more firm boundaries and actually do these things. I can only blame myself that things end up the way that they are. I can't be a victim in any of these situations. Remember, when we go back to that victim or that self-pity, feeling bad for ourselves situation, and this stuff is very dangerous for us, because what it puts us in is it manifests more victim situations, more opportunities to be a victim. And we do this, like I said, not even in our mental. Sometimes our mental could be on like a whole different level, vibing high, but our physical body is not outputting that same level of energy yet. And we have to realize where we are not being aligned on those certain planes and make the fixation. You feel me? The second thing that I had was leading the moment with great power and intention. And this is really about channeling that internal God. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is about you really knowing who the fuck you are. Like, what you are really meant to channel down on this earth. You feel me? This is all about the channeling of energy and how you are maintaining yourself. The things that you do to ensure the certain perception on yourself. The work that you put in for yourself, all of these different levels of things. And this is about really having a lot of intention that is within like the deep core truths of your soul. You feel me? Not just some shallow thing that's like a impulse that you are chasing that became a huge habit in the physical realm over time. You feel me? That's what most of this is for us. So we have to recognize the difference. A good way of recognizing the difference is you feel the energy. Energy is something that's undeniable. You feel me? So you feel the energy, you feel truth, you feel if you feeling actually fulfilled from the things that you're doing, even if it's not producing something right there in the moment like it would be on a logical basis. You feel me? It's something that you can feel. It's the progression, it's the power, it's the intention, it's the path that you feel. It's being in the journey, the present moment. You feel me? When you really in that power, that's where you get the best things and you attain the best things within yourself, and that's when you really ground in that highest self of yours. The third lesson that I had was releasing care for others' opinions, and this is kind of with the first one, but this was to a different level. You know, I really realized that I care too much about what people think sometimes. Like, I had so many videos that I haven't posted that I made up on this channel just because I felt like it wasn't good enough. You feel me? Or it had some type of flaw, or I wasn't, just bullshit a lot of the time. Things where I'm just being not sure of myself, not having that trust, you know what I'm saying, and not having that power behind myself. Like, I'm creating things with authenticity, and I'm doing that recipe every day, and when I know that, I should know that the best things come from that. It just don't always be how we idealize it in our minds. I might have an expectation for how something look, and it looks completely different, but I have to keep in mind that if I've never seen it before, or I've never been in a specific experience before, I don't know what it looks like. So I have to be open to everything. You gotta work through everything, actually use your discernment and trial and successes. You feel me? I'm not using the word trial and error no more, because some stuff can be error, but trial and success is what I call it, because you looking for the success. So pinpoint it in your focus, you know what I'm saying, and really at a different level of focusing in on oneself and being in tune with yourself, because then another opinion cannot even touch you. You feel me? The fourth lesson is focus on the personal path stronger, and that was really aligned with all of these. All of these are going to be aligned with each other, because life aligns with each other when you live in an alignment, and that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been working towards, So when I'm focusing on my personal self stronger, that's like finding deeper things within the shadow, finding more subconscious and unconscious things that I'm doing to myself that are hindering me in my path, more habits that I have that I can cut out, and more things that I should be introducing more in this path in my life, because the phases always change. Life is not nothing that's stale. It's always running, so things are always changing. It always takes something alternative to the last present moment. So you got to constantly be using your discernment to realize what adjustment is needed in the moment for you to be getting the most potent growth and evolution and strength in your path. Like, I'm turning Super Saiyan God in this bitch. You feel me? Like, that's what I want. That's the levels that I want to be on inside of my mental level. The construct that I want to be on is overcoming everything, thriving through every obstacle. You feel me? Undeniable in myself, undeniably God energy, grounded and channeled on this planet to where nobody can deny it in the face of themselves. You feel me? And that is the level that I strive to. Those things, just grounding that power, having those ideas are very important. And that's what it is. Like, when you actually have a vision for yourself, and that is the thing that puts you in that personal path. You have to have a vision for yourself, something that makes you feel rejuvenated when you think about it. You can't be thinking about it in a negative way. That's one thing that we have to remove. When you think about the things that you work towards, you have to think of them in constructive ways. Don't always think about the negative things that you feel like you have to deal with, even if it is a legit negative thing to happen and you have to deal with something. View it as an opportunity for you to exercise the ability of taking care of something. You feel me? So then you have a alchemistic opportunity to shift the way that you are manifesting and creating the reality that is now cultivating and being manifested to you in this time. These are things that I have been just feeling within myself. It's a different time, and it's a year 8. You know what I'm saying? 2024 is 202. It's 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4, and that makes 8. So I'm a life path 8. I've been really feeling the power of this whole entire year, this whole entire energy, and I have been taking this to be really in tune with myself. So these are Let's go to the next one before I get to ranting and shit. Number 5 was realizing more destructive habits, and this was really just like realizing things that this goes with everything, but specifically actually pinpointing these things out and making a game plan to get them out of my life, not just noticing them and then getting discouraged and being like, dang, I keep falling back on this, what the fuck am I doing? No, it's like, all right, I see what I'm doing here, I keep falling or getting slowed down by this. What can I do to make myself be able to handle this better, or should I just not even have this in the way? Should I move this out of my whole entire perception? What is the game plan when I'm coming into contact with this thing? If it's inevitable and I have to come in contact with this thing, how am I going to find a game plan to really deal with it and create power out of this instead of draining my power? How do I make this rejuvenating instead of draining for myself? You feel what I'm saying? So these are some of the things that I was doing, and I'm not going to go into specific detail with the actual synapses within myself, because that's not for really y'all to know. It's for y'all to really search within yourself, like, what are the destructive habits that you have in your life, and what are the rejuvenated things, what make you feel like you want to be on your shit and be on your path all day, you feel me, and do the things that you want to do, you feel me, and explore this life. What make you feel open, you feel me, and that ground, that light energy, that undeniable guy energy. Like, you got to really realize those things. But more than that, like, I'm gonna make an example real quick. When we eating foods, a lot of the time we'll be eating a lot of healthy foods, and sometimes, like, people who are like freak athletes, we'd be like, I'm not getting the results I want. Why am I not getting the results I want? I'm eating all the foods I'm supposed to be eating. But then you're not looking on the side of like all the bad foods that you are eating. You might think just because you eating all of the healthy foods that the bad foods are not affecting you. Everything still makes its accommodation. So it's the same thing with our thoughts. Even though you are making a lot of positive thoughts, you still may have a lot of destructive thoughts or destructive habits or destructive whatever in your life. You have to realize that's not good for you whatsoever. So the more you cut out, the more that you get ahead, the more that ratio makes a flip on the other side. And that was really what I was realizing during this whole entire time. All right, number 6 is developing deeper trust for the divine. And this is like I said, they all in line. It's developing a deeper sense of trust, like trusting every moment. Like, I know I be on my shit. I know I be grounding my God energy. I know that I be checking myself first in every moment. So I know to trust every single circumstance that God throws on the table, because I am a part of that God energy, and this is a part of a play that we have put together for oneself. You feel me? So we have to have trust for how things go out. We have to have trust for our true soul desires, and that takes discernment and weaving out the false desires. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes you actually going out and seeking a false desire to get to the end of a certain path and realize that that's not what I wanted. Let me circle back and go, not even circle back, but transition to a different level of striving for the thing that I was actually on. And now I have all of this extra endurance in it and experience with me. I can use that to stronger get to that other path that I was focused on before getting distracted. You feel me? And it's not even really getting distracted. You may have got there to get a certain aspect of endurance within yourself, like we just said. So it's about really realizing these things and acknowledging all of the positive aspects so that you are making the alchemy within your brain to appreciate yourself instead of feeling discouraged about yourself. Number 7 and the final one is channeling higher levels of self, which is like what I've been saying the whole entire time. When you've been practicing all of these things, and these things, the rest of the 6 things before this have become a habit within your life, you can now easily channel your God higher self on a daily basis, on a presently, momently basis, on a secondly basis. You feel me? That's how incremental it gets when you are really diving into that absolute consciousness of oneself. You feel me? When you actually diving into these deeper levels of consciousness, the euphoria, the feeling, the appreciation, the trust, the cohesiveness, the harmony of the moment is different, bro. I'm telling you that you're gonna really realize that this life is perfect and how it is being manifested to you. It is just your ideas that can fall under a false narrative. It's only us, you feel me? And that's what I have been realizing, like all of my ideas, to humble myself to the universe. Universe brings me everything I need and is showing me what I am deciding to be in the moment. You know what I'm saying? We got that paintbrush in our hands and we actually creating the canvas and the frame and everything that comes with it. So we got to take 100% accountability for it. And that's what I've been learning, to take 100% accountability for the life that I'm living. And it has been allowing me to feel a power like I have never felt in my life until this point. Also feel sadness, feel accountability, feel appreciation, feel loneliness, feel togetherness, feel connection, feel detachment to complete different levels in my internal self. But yeah, these are the lessons that I have been learning. So if these things have helped you, you don't have to say it in the comments, but let those things work out in your sacred geometry in your life. I love y'all. Make sure you're on your path. Remember that this is the third dimension. Whatever you ultimately projecting, you're going to be experiencing, because this is all you. Remember to have trust. I love you.